اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. Now, Risala al-Qushayriya, obviously, we are in the part of building your characters and how to build your characters to become a wali min awliya Allah. So, wilaya, which here translated to English, friendship with Allah, with God. It's difficult to find the right word for wali because it has multiple meaning and they need to really know which they are talking about. And all Muslims have general wilaya. Allahu waliyu alladhina amanu. All the believers, Allah is their protectors and guardians and guide and helper and things. And Allah protect those who have faith. And there is a private wilaya. So you have general wilaya, and that's all the Muslims, all the believers in Allah Azza wa Jal. And there's a private wilaya when you become very close to Allah Azza wa Jal, that you have a special treatment from Allah Azza wa Jal. So Allah Azza wa Jal said in the Quran, أَلَا إِنَّ أَوْلِيَاءَ اللَّهِ لَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. That's awliya Allah. There's no fear for them and they will never be sad. الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَكَانُوا يَتَّقُونَ. Those who believe and they were always minding their way and mindful of Allah Azza wa Jal, protect themselves from His punishment and fearing Allah Azza wa Jal. So, wali min awliya Allah, if he's and here we are talking about the close, the private wilaya. You are really chosen by Allah Azza wa Jal. So Allah Azza wa Jal directly put His help to you and you passed all these tests and Allah loves you now. And Allah Azza wa Jal will help you all the way till you go to paradise. So Aisha radiallahu anha said, يقول الله تعالى من آذى لي وليا, and here the could be the general, don't know. But من آذى لي وليا, whoever harmed a wali of my awliya, he has he deserved now my fight against him. He made my fight to him halal. Allah will fight him. There's another hadith. من آذى لي وليا فقد آذنته بالحرب. I'm giving him the warning that I will fight him. So Allah will fight a person who harm a wali. And no man, no servant get close to Allah Azza wa Jal by doing more than what Allah obliged him to do. So if you do what Allah made it farad for you, you become wali to Allah Azza wa Jal. But if you carry on doing nawafil, extra than the farad, siyam, extra fasting, extra pray, extra hajj, extra umrah, extra teaching, extra learning, like Imam Malik bin Anas, he said devoted all his nawafil to acquire ilm and teach ilm. He wasn't one of those who actually was fasting every other day or staying, stand up and pray all the night and things. And the same the Sahaba. Some Sahaba were fasting every day or every other day, or reading the Quran in 3 days, 4 days, whatever. There's people who were giving all their money, but there's Sahaba who were just doing the Fara'id. Abu Bakr is not known to be one of those who was like, fasting every day and staying the night praying and things. But he passed all this by loving Allah, loving His messenger, loving, buying slave and freeing them, protecting the Prophet, spending money on him, and then he reached the wilaya, the special wilaya from Allah Azza wa Jal, and that's it, he passed. So everyone has ways to get loved by Allah Azza wa Jal, and when Allah Azza wa Jal loves you, حتى أحبه. The other narration, كنتم سمعه الذي يسمع به ويده التي يبطش بها عينه التي يبصر بها. It will be your eyes, by him you see, your ears, by him you hear, and your hand, by him you hit, and your leg, by him you walk. And if you ask him, he will give you, and if you ask for support to win, he will make you win. So it will be in the other narrations of the hadith what he will do when Allah loves you. But he said in this hadith, وَمَا تَرَدَّدْتُ فِي شَيْءٍ أَنَا فَاعِلُهُ. I wasn't hesitant in doing anything I do other than taking his soul, make him die. Because the man hates death and I don't want to upset him. But taraddud here, he wasn't hesitant like, what shall I do? It's not like, which one I do. Because Allah Azza wa Jal here, if He leaves you in this life, something you like, but He knows He's taking you to a better choice. You will have more enjoyment, more happiness, more less work, less hustle in the next life. And Allah knows that you will love it, you will like it. You will have just to cross that line. And my teacher used to say the difference between this life and next life, it's like the difference between the life in the womb of your mother and the world. So when the baby comes out, he cries and he wants to stay there warm and no cold and no. But it's better outside, that's too limited for you. And al-wali laha ma'nayan. It has two meanings. You support Allah Azza wa Jal, and you take Allah Azza wa Jal as your guardian, your solicitor, your accountant, your protector, your helper. You choose. So you become wali min awliya. He is my guardian. So who's your wali? In the school say, bring your wali, awliya al-tullab, to avoid divorced people and people who have no father, don't know their father, whatever, who is, they're living in a hostel, they're living in a children home. Who is your guardian? So you make Allah Azza wa Jal your guardian, your wali. That's one meaning. The other meaning, Allah Azza wa Jal say, وَهُوَ يَتَوَلَّى الصَّالِحِينَ. Obviously, you won't be wali to Allah unless you are a good person and you do all these fara'id. You're a believer in Allah Azza wa Jal. The second meaning, مبالغة بالفعل يتوالى عبادة الله. That you don't only take Allah as your guardian and helper, you carry on continuously worshipping Allah, serving Him, doing things for Him. So you, wali here, become like wali yali each other. Everyone follow each other. Every ibadah followed by another ibadah, but third ibadah, fourth ibadah. You had enough, you do. You did salah, you go and make qiyam al-layl. You did qiyam al-layl, go and do the fajr. You do fajr, sit and read Quran. You read Quran, you go and make zikr. You make zikr, you go out and help other people. So you follow each nafil by another nafil. Follow each nafil. So yatawala. في العبادة والطاعة. And without allowing disobedience to Allah to be in between. And both descriptions, they need to be. And to become wali min awliya Allah, you have to do what Allah obliged you to do as farad. You cannot be wali to Allah and you're not doing even salah. You're not doing zakah. So nobody can come and claim to be wali min awliya Allah and he's not even praying. Probably his wali is shaitan. So there
was one story very related to this. One of the awliya Allah was praying in prayer, and then his student was behind, and then voice came say, "Oh, you are reached the highest level. You don't have to pray." And he finished. He said, "Lanatul shaitan." Yeah. And he said, "How do you know that he's shaitan?" He says, "Because the faraid wasn't taken from the Prophet ﷺ. How can it be taken from me?" So I didn't realize he was shaitan. Yeah.
Yeah. Subhanallah. So Wali Abu Zayd al-Bistami, he was told there is one who is wali min awliya Allah. So he went to meet him, and he went in the mosque waiting for him to come, and he came and he spat on the side of the mosque. So Abu Zayd al-Bistami walked out. He said, "Oh, you didn't see him, you didn't talk to him." He said, "He's not a wali. If he was wali, he wouldn't disrespect the mosque." So this is one of the things, the mosque shouldn't be harmed. So how would he be wali and in charge of knowing the secrets of the truth of Allah? And does the wali know that he is wali or not? Some say no, some say yes, and each has their own reasons. That if you think he is wali, he's like, "Oh, I'm the top now, I reached the top." And that's what happened to some who claim to be wali, and what's after reaching the top? You go down, and they go down, stop praying, stop fasting, stop considering they reach, which is obviously not. Because if you are wali, you don't even know. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu is the Prophet said, if the iman of all the people would put on one scale and the iman of Abu Bakr on the other scale, his iman is heavier. And he said, if I put my right foot in Jannah, I'm not sure whether I will be able to put my left foot in Jannah. And Umar ibn Khattab said, if I am in the day of judgment they said everyone will go to Jannah except one. I'm afraid I would be worried that I might be that one. Although he was told by Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that he will be in Jannah, Abu Bakr in Jannah, Umar in Jannah, Uthman in Jannah, and he named the 10 Sahaba and more than 10 Sahaba. Because also he doesn't know what he will be tomorrow, what state he will be. No one could be in the same state all the time. And then there could be some test to him and he failed the test. And some say, yes, he could know that he is wali, and that's what make him, that the wilaya is given to him. And he could have some karama, like, he could, Allah Azza wa Jal make him do things which is extraordinary. And it is known. And in the Quran, it's known, like, Maryam was not a prophet, but Allah Azza wa Jal was giving her food every day. The food of the summer in the winter, food of the winter in the summer, and the same people of the cave, and the same when she went to a dead date tree started dropping date on her, and the water came from underneath her feet. So some say, yeah, it could be, but then you look into Allah Azza wa Jal, you fear Allah Azza wa Jal, you see Allah Azza wa Jal is mighty, and والإجلال في الحال وتم الشد. So you're respecting Allah Azza wa Jal all the time. And he said, although about the Prophet ﷺ said about the 10 who will be in Jannah, and obviously when he told them that, they were on a state which is deserved to be in Jannah, but whether they will keep it or not, they will have to work on it. So you can't come and expect that, yeah, the Prophet said I will be in Jannah, why to bother and fast and Hajj and fight for the sake of Allah, which none of them actually stopped doing. So although they were told you're going to be in Jannah, but they didn't stop, they carried on. So obviously they were the true awliya of Allah Azza wa Jal. And you know the prophets with the miracles they perform, and you could know some awali that the miracle they do. You go to the room and close the door. All the boys, all of you, go to the room, close the door, don't let anybody in. So they're given the karama. Mu'jiza, the prophets perform miracles. The wali could perform karamat. Sheikh Imam Ahmad, what's his name, Imam? Yeah, one of the Salihin, one of the Awliyaullah. People knew that he was true wali. He was with his followers walking, and they showed him a girl who was disabled, like, retarded and things, and he made dua for her. They asked him to make dua for her. He put his hand on her head, and subhanallah, Allah Azza wa Jal cured her. Ahmad al-Rifai, his name, Sheikh Ahmad al-Rifai. This is how people knew. I told you about also Nafisa, Sayyidah Nafisa, when she was in Mecca, when she was in Egypt, and the neighbors left their daughter with her, and she was making wudu and splashed water on her, and Allah cured her, this Jewish girl who was disabled as well. So this is, people started coming asking her to make dua for them, until she was like, had no time for herself, since she wanted to leave Cairo at that time, and the Khalifa promised her that no one will knock at her door on 2 days in the week. And then he said, قيل إبراهيم بن أدهم أتحب أن تكون لله وليا فقال نعم قال لا ترغب في شيء من الدنيا والآخرة. If you want to be wali from awliya Allah, don't be after anything in this life or the hereafter. So be after Allah Azza wa Jal. So face Allah Azza wa Jal, want Allah Azza wa Jal, and Allah will be with you. وقال يحيى بن معاذ عن الصياط تسربلوا بالأنس بالله. They put on the dress being comforted, being with Allah عز وجل. واعتنقوا الروح بعد المجاهدة. They relied on the rest after the effort they made to come close to Allah. So they are really with Allah عز وجل now. They are happy they reached the pleasure of Allah عز وجل. And Abba Yazid used to say, أولياء الله تعالى عرائس الله. So, like, they are the brides of Allah عز وجل on earth. They are really happy and they looked after, and they are and no one can see them but muhram, a father, a brother, a husband. And Abu Bakr al-Saydalani كان رجلا صالحا كنت أصلح له. He said he used to go, he know one of the awliya called Abu Bakr Damastani, and he used to make a sign that this is the grave of Abu Bakr al-Damastani, who is wali min awliyaullah, and put it there, and he goes, come after a few months to visit him, he like this disappeared. Somebody's stealing it, but they haven't stolen the other signs. So he made another one and stolen, and another one, and come after a few months it's stolen again. Then he went and talked to Abi Ali al-Daqqaq, his teacher, and he said to him, that guy was hiding himself from people. He didn't want anybody to know that he is wali from awliyaullah. And you're trying to unhide him, and Allah doesn't want to unhide him because he requested to be hidden. Yeah? So you probably need to move your chair this way. Ahmad, you need to move your chair because I'm worried about your neck. And Abu Uthman al-Mughrabi, he said that الولي قد يكون مشهورا, you could be famous, but you pass your test. You're not actually taken by the glitter of this life. And Nasr Badi, he said الأولياء ليس الأولياء سؤال إنما هو الذبول والخمول. They're not actually asking, oh, Allah give me this, Allah give me that, and I want that. It's just taking life easy and just want life to be like it is. And the level of awliya could reach the level just below the anbiya, the prophets. So it could be really high level of wali. You won't become prophet, but it could be really very high. Sahel ibn Abdullah said, وَلِي لِتَوَالَتْ أَفْعَالُهُ عَلَى الْمُوَافَقَةِ. All what you do in accordance with the Quran and Sunnah and what Allah wants. And Yahya said he never show off. He never commit any hypocrisy. And Jawzani said he is busy with himself. And he is happy seeing Allah Azza wa Jalla and His creation. And Abu Yazid al-Bustami said, حدود الأولياء بتعمل من أربعة أسماء. They could be seeing the creation of Allah Azza wa Jalla taken from His name, the first, or seeing the end Allah Azza wa Jalla talked about in His name, the Akhir, the last, and look into what Allah created, take from His name al-Zahir, the obvious, and take from all these hidden secrets from His name al-Batin. And some could have a lot of contemplation and thinking from all His names, all the names of Allah. They look into the name and what's the consequence of that name. They become like, protected by Allah Azza wa Jalla, like the people of the cave. وَتَحْسَبُهُمْ أَيْقَاظًا وَهُمْ رُقُودٌ. You don't see the wali of Allah as if Allah Azza wa Jalla doesn't want you to see His reality, because you don't deserve. People could be sarcastic to awliya Allah. I mean, in Syria, I like your turban, or pray to us, and become like a bit sarcastic. Give us, and only people who know the awliya truly are the people who like them, as-siddiqun. And they work a lot in their younger years, and Allah Azza wa Jal cover you with His cover later in life. And He said the sign of the wali is three things. You're really busy with Allah Azza wa Jal, and you always go back to Allah Azza wa Jal, and your concern is Allah Azza wa Jal. إذا أراد الله تعالى أن يولي عبدا من عبيده فتح عليه باب ذكره. If Allah wants you to be wali, He will make you do a lot of zikr. You get really close to Allah Azza wa Jal. Obviously, after doing all the fara'id. And He will raise you to the level of being comforted with Allah Azza wa Jal, and then raise you to the kursi of the monotheistic feeling, believe in Allah Azza wa Jal. And then He will remove the barriers for you, and you could see things nobody's seen. Like Ibrahim, Allah Nuri Ibrahim malakut as-samawati wal ard. Allah showed him the creation of the heavens and earth and the beauty of it. And the Prophet ﷺ said, لَقَدْ رَأَى مِنْ آيَاتِ رَبِّهِ الْكُبْرى. So the Prophet has two meanings. Either he saw all the mighty signs of Allah Azza wa Jal, or the biggest creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. And become زمنا فانيا فوقع في حفظه سبحانه وتعالى وبرئ من دعاوى نفسه. Become, yeah, he's gone, he doesn't exist, so Allah protect you and take you and look after you. And قال أبو تعالى بذلك فالقلب الأعراض عن الله صاحبته الوقيعة. If somebody is away from Allah Azza wa Jal, he will start fighting against the awliya. SubhanAllah, there's quite a lot of them. Now you see in the internet, now you see them in the YouTube and Facebook, and they insult the awliya in awful way. Some of the enemies of Ali Jum'ah in Egypt, they cut pieces from his recording and stick together. Oh, look what he's saying. But I listened to the original. What happened, I listened to his original speak, and they took it and they said, oh, he's asking Sisi to hit fire on all those Muslim Brotherhood in Rabia. But he never said that. اضرب بالمليان, they say. But he was talking about something completely different, nothing to do with this. But they took this, and you can do it now with the technology. And they are not in fear. And you are the son of your time. You don't actually look, as strange. Like my nephew today, one of my nephews wrote that the minute Hamas crossed the line, they won. Crossed the line of the Israelis. They won. They achieved a victory. I said, this become like, the surgeon came out from the operation theater and he said, great, the operation was great success, but the patient died. You crossed the line to get all these freed and the barricade and the 12 years of barricade and things like that. You crossed the line, you made a victory. What the victory? The patient died. The operation success, but the patient died. And Allah Azza wa Jalla said, أَلَا إِنَّ أَوْلِيَاءَ اللَّهِ لَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. You are never in fear and you're never sad. And subhanAllah, you look into things that happen across the globe. If people were doing things as Allah wanted it done, there will be the jewel on the crown. There will be amazing people. People will look into them. Oh my God, what sort of people are these? But they're not. And you got to convince them. So I said to one of them, the mentality now a lot of Arab have doesn't work. You can't come into New York and kill the people in New York because the land originally belonged to the Red Indian, and say you are there, occupied it. You can't do the same. You can't. Your brain, if it functions this way, people will not accept. You can't come to Australia and say, kill all these Australians who came, invaded Australia, and give Australia to the Aboriginals. So the original owners. It doesn't work. Things doesn't work this way. Otherwise, who's going to kick who out? Who immigrated to where? If somebody come and say, this Solihull stolen and we have to kill all of you in Solihull. Kill. It's not like, we'll take you to court or cut your hand. No. Kill them because their ancestors stole the land. It doesn't work. And America, obviously, not going to support the Arab because they took... they used to say the only good Red Indian is the dead Red Indian. This is the mentality.
They killed 20 million.
Yeah.
You don't hear that. They killed 20 million red Indians.
Yeah.
20 million.
20
million.
billion.
Million.
Yeah.
20 million.
I think.
Yeah.
It turned out like they, to kill them, it's a good deed. You kill these people, you kill their children, you kill them.
Yeah. I mean, some of the Shia have من قتل السنة دخل الجنة. من قتل, yeah, you heard it? Whoever kill a Sunni will enter Jannah. This is their mentality.
I think
The extreme of them.